Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 11, Chapter 5, Text 16. Ye kaivalyam asamprapta ye chatitascha mudhatam traivargika hi akashnika atmanam gatayantite. Ye, those who kaivalyam, knowledge of the absolute truth, asampraptaha, have not achieved, ye, who cha also, atita, have transcended, cha also, mudatam, grasp foolishness, vargika, dedicated to the three goals of pious life, namely dharma, artha, kama. He indeed, akashnikaha, not having given a moment to reflect, atmanam, their own selves, katayanti, murder, they. Translation purport given by the disciples of Srila Prabhupada. Those who have not achieved knowledge of the absolute truth, yet who are still beyond the darkness of complete ignorance, generally follow the threefold path of pious material life, namely religiosity, economic development, and sense gratification. Not having time to reflect or any other higher purpose, they become the killers of their own soul. Those who are completely in the darkness of ignorance and thus bereft even of material pious life commit innumerable sinful activities and suffer greatly. Due to such intense suffering, such persons sometimes seek the shelter of devotees of the Lord, and being blessed by such transcendental association are sometimes elevated to the highest perfection and stage of Krishna consciousness. Those are not completely sinful experience some mitigation of the miseries of material life and thus develop a false sense of well-being within the material world, because those who are materially pious generally obtain worldly prosperity, bodily beauty, and pleasant family situation. They become falsely proud of their position and are not inclined to associate with or accept instructions from the devotees of the Lord. Unfortunately, all material activities, whether pious or impious, are inevitably contaminated by sinful activity. Those who are proud of their pity and do not like to hear about Krishna sooner or later fall down from this artificial position. Every living entity is an eternal servant of Krishna, the Supreme Personality of God. Therefore, until we surrender to Krishna, our position is actually always impious. The word akashnikaha, aksh, akshanikaha, not having given a moment to reflect, is significant in this verse. Materialistic persons cannot spare a single moment for their eternal self interest. This is a symptom of misfortune. Such persons are considered to be killing their own souls, because by their obstinacy they are preparing a dark future for themselves from which they will not escape for a very long time. A sick man receiving medical treatment may be encouraged by the preliminary results of the doctor's care. But if the patient becomes falsely proud of the preliminary progress in his treatment and prematurely gives up the doctor's orders, thinking himself already cured, there will undoubtedly be relapse. The word ye kaivalyam asampraptaha. This was clearly indicate that material pity is a long way from perfect knowledge of the absolute truth. If one gives up his spiritual progress before achieving the lotus feet of Krishna, he will undoubtedly fall back down and into the most unpleasant material situation, even if he has achieved impersonal realization of the Brahman effulgence, as stated in Srimad Bhagavatam. Aruhya kruchena param padam tataha patanti adaha. Etatma 17th sloka. Etatma hano shanta agnane gnanamaninaha siddhanti krutavai kala dvasta manorataha. The killers of the soul are never peaceful because they consider that human intelligence is ultimately meant for expanding material life, thus neglecting their real spiritual duties. They are always in distress. They are filled with great hopes and dreams. But unfortunately, these are always destroyed by the inevitable march of time. Purport. There is a similar verse in Sri Ishopanishad. Asurya namate loka andena tamasvrutaha tamste प्रेत्या अभिगच्छन्ति एके एके चात्मा अनोजनः. The killer of the soul, whoever he may be, may enter into the planets known as the worlds of faithless, full of darkness and ignorance. Hare Krishna. So this 17th, 16th and 17th sloka explains about the knowledge of the absolute truth. Those who are still in darkness and complete ignorance generally follow threefold path of material life: dharma, artha, kama, not having time to reflect on higher purpose. They become the killers of the soul. This verse explains about the people who are not willing to know about Supreme Personality of Godhead or hear about the glories of the Lord or will not chant the holy names of the Lord or hear to the never gives their attention to the devotees of the Lord, they will always kill their own self. So those persons who are in ignorance and complete darkness, they keep on doing the sinful activities in their material life. So one should understand that even the pious activities in material life commit sinful activities and they suffer greatly. Due to such intense suffering, such persons sometimes seek the shelter of the devotees of the Lord, and being blessed by such transcendental association are sometimes elevated to the highest perfection state of Krishna consciousness. See, generally, the persons, some people, they are very, very pious, but according to the Vedic injunctions, if it is whatever it is, whether it is pious or impious, that will not make him to go and reach the destination of the Lord. But sometimes the pious persons take the shelter of the pure devotees and they will realize about the Supreme Personality of Godhead by constantly taking the shelter of the lotus feet of the devotees, pure devotees. And the association of their devotees makes us to um, reach the highest perfection of Krishna consciousness, as in the case of Sri Narada Muni, when he heard the transcendental pastimes of the Lord from the Bhakti Vedantists, he realized that all this material life is nothing but the garbage. And by gradually hearing this, his elevation to the Krishna consciousness was miracle, and it is and that Shravanam Kirtanam by Narada Muni from the Bhaktivedantis elevated himself to the stage of a great pure devotee who become Narada Mahamuni in his next birth, who was the son of a maid servant. So that's why those who are not completely sinful, because those who are materially pious generally obtain worldly prosperity, bodily beauty, and pleasant family situation, they become falsely proud of their position and are not inclined to associate with or accept instructions from the devotees of the Lord. Some people they will be very beautiful, but their whole life they'll focus on only after their beauty. How best I can improve my beauty by bringing so many cosmetics or wearing very attractive dresses and also roaming around with their friends by exposing her or his uh, beauty so that they can praise or they can uh, boast them to the greater extent, so that those particular persons will get attracted to that, and they will never have the chance or opportunity to take the association of the devotees. So they will be restricted to their beauty, their prosperity, their wealth, and to their family members. So these persons will never cross the uh, line, or will never cross the border of this material ocean, which is called samsara. So those persons who will not hear the pastimes of the Lord, they will always fall down from the artificial position also. Even they lose their material position also. You can see there are so many rich persons. Sometime in America also there was a president, one of the president. So president of America means, for the materialistic viewpoint point of view, he is king of the whole world. Is can also say monarch in kingly point of view. So that person has become uh, after his term, he has become lunatic, and he himself doesn't know what his position was and who he was. He forgotten everything. Such was a plight. Yes, it has occurred for that particular person. So I don't remember his name. Very long back, I think. Long back in the sense, 20 years, 25 years back, I think. So we can't say in the material world, nobody can predict that I will be always rich, I will be always healthy, wealthy. No, nothing. The point, unless otherwise you don't hear the pastimes of the Lord, which are so sweet and which are so maduram, which are heart touching moments, then they will always, even they lose their material position also, their wealth, prosperity, their family members. Like here, they are given quoted an example that if a patient goes to the doctor and the doctor prescribes some medicines and also some diet to that particular patient. So if the patient ignores that, or if the patient doesn't carry out the prescription of the doctor, definitely the disease will not get cured. He will remain in that same position. Here the word ye kaivalyam asampraptya in this verse clearly indicate that material pity is a long way from perfect knowledge of the absolute truth. So if one gives up his spiritual progress before achieving the lotus feet of Krishna, he will undoubtedly fall back down into the most unpleasant material situation, even if he has achieved impersonal realization of Brahman. Hare Krishna. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srila Gurudev ki jai.